Okay, off we go with page 8. The Ethiopian king is speaking to the fish eaters, who are the representatives of the king of Persia. And he's about to give a graphic demonstration of Ethiopian superiority, a direct challenge to the Persians. So he says, but now, almost, I think, to surprise them and alert them that something big is coming up. Didontes from didomi, I give. Having given, you can tell that's a participle. Giving or having given this bow to him. He's unnamed. He's the great king of Persia. You can't just refer to him by him dismissively. Say these words. Epos is a word from which we get epic poetry. This is the neuter plural of that strange third declension word. There's a group of words. I've mentioned Xiphos before. We've met etos, which is a year. Xiphos, Xiphus, etos, etus. This is epos, epus. So a third declension. They all have the same neuter plural ending. For once, it doesn't end in alpha, it ends in eta. Say these words. The king of the Ethiopians advises the king of the Persians. How dare he give advice? Here he is from a 2-horse country, never mind a 2-horse town, in the middle of nowhere. The Persians have an enormous global empire, and this Ethiopian is giving advice to the Persian king. What's coming up is a slightly back to front sentence. So you've got these two words, then and when. Epen, you might expect normally epe, but this is epen, just meaning when or whenever, perhaps. And you can it is slightly back to front, as I said, but I think you can cope if you invent the word only. So let's just start again with the highlighter. Only then, against the long-lived Ethiopians to march. So this is his advice. Only to march against the long-lived Ethiopians when? When Persians can draw, or just draw. When Persians can draw, helko is the verb to draw, to drag. When Persians can draw, and you draw a bow, you pull the strings back. When Persians can draw, bows being in size so big. When Persians can draw bows of this size, of this enormity, hutos, eupetos, so easily, or as easily as we can. So this is this should remind us of Odysseus and the great bow, Odysseus and the contest of the bow. Only Odysseus could draw the bow. Only Odysseus could string the bow. Everybody else was doomed to fail. So this is almost a reminder of that famous scene from the Odyssey. And the Ethiopian king issues a challenge: when you're as manly as we are, then come knocking on our door. Otherwise, I warn you, stay away. So the king of the Ethiopians advises the king of the Persians only then to launch a campaign. Stratos is an army, stratuesthai, against the long-lived Ethiopians. When Persians can draw bows of this great size as easily. And then you've got to invent the words "as we can." Good stuff. Right. And then he finally says, until this, until then, until this time. The word chronou, genitive of time, is missing. Mekri, by the way, takes Mekri plus the genitive. It takes the genitive. So until this point in time, I advise him, I think you've got to understand those words. I advise him to acknowledge thanks to the gods, to give thanks to the gods. Adonai, you've seen, is to know. And I've fiddled around with that to make it mean acknowledge. To acknowledge, to give thanks to the gods. The gods who uk, epi, noon, Aethiopsi, trepusi. Okay. Who do not turn the mind to the Ethiopians. Who do not put it into the mind of the Ethiopians. So epi takes the accusative. There's noon. Trepo is to, literally, is to turn the minds of the Ethiopians. So to make them consider something. Who do not put it into the minds of the Ethiopians. By the way, with noon, easy word, we talk about nous, especially in the north of England, which is good sense, practicality, shrewdness, nous. It's the Greek word nous, which means mind or intellect. Who do not put it into the minds of the Ethiopians. Pros katasthai, that's an infinitive from katar amai, I obtain. Pros katar amai, to obtain something in addition. Who do not, who have not put it into the minds of the Ethiopians to add another land to their own. In other words, just be grateful, great king of Persia, that we don't come knocking on your door and decide the Persian Empire is something we'd like to tack on to our Ethiopian kingdom. That's the end of the Ethiopian king's speech. What a humdinger.